you guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I take all your questions and answer them right here on this show. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and today we got a jam-packed show going on today. And if you want your question on this show, it's very simple. All you have to do is just send me an email at static145910@gmail.com, or you can simply just tweet me at my Twitter at Mr. Alex Hampton, or you can leave a comment under my Instagram on any of my posts to ask me a question that you want answered on this show. Now that I've gotten that out the way, let's go ahead and jump into the first question of the day. And the first question comes from a Brandon Graham, and he writes, "Hey Alex, it's been confirmed that John Cena has been confirmed that he has joined the Fast and Furious 9 movie. Is this a smart move by Universal?" Well, thank you for your question, Brandon. So what Brandon's referring to, literally, like I think it was on Friday or Saturday, that John Cena was confirmed to be one of the cast members on the Fast and Furious movie. It hasn't been confirmed if he's a villain or a hero, if he's going to be joining the team or not. This all stems back to a video, an Instagram video that Vin Diesel posted on his Instagram, showing that, hey, you know, I'm always thinking fast, I have these great ideas, and the camera pans around to him standing next to John Cena. Now, as you all know, there has been some drama for the Fast and Furious franchise. You know, Vin and The Rock do not get along, and that's part of the reason why there's a Hobbs and Shaw standalone movie. And it is connected to the Fast and Furious franchise. However, you know, I guess the studio wanted to do this franchise following The Rock and what he brought to it. And Vin was not necessarily okay with that. So, you know, that's why a lot of things had got moved around. But my take on this is that, do I think this is a smart move on Universal's part? Honestly, you know, I love the Fast and Furious franchise. I think that, you know, every film since the fourth one has been amazing. I like the second one, and I like the first one as well. But I will have to say that every film since the fourth one has been amazing. I mean, just from the super action, ridiculous stuff that goes on in the first one, from the fourth one to the fifth one to the sixth one to the seventh one, and now the eighth one, and now we're getting Hobbs and Shaw, and now we're getting Fast and Furious 9. It's just gonna be you know, amazing. Like, just things, the words that I can't even come up with. And I think it would be actually an excellent addition. To a degree, I did say, like, why would you add John Cena? But now that I think about it, you know, John Cena is an action junkie, and I would love to see a fight scene between John Cena and Vin Diesel, or them tag teaming or something of that nature. You know, as far as we know, Dwayne Johnson is not attached to Fast and Furious 9, so I want to see how that's going to, like, pan out. But overall, I do think it's a smart marketing move, and John Cena is relevant right now. He can act, he can do comedy, he can do action. So he's one of those people who's willing to be reckoned with. So I think it is a smart move to a degree. So let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Taj Evans, and he writes, "Hey Alex, do you think Anthony Mackie's recent comments about there's no such thing as a movie star anymore? What do I think about those comments that Anthony Mackie said about there's no such thing as a movie star?" Okay, well, thank you for your question, Taj. So what Taj is referring to, there's a video circulating social media. I saw it on Facebook, and he's basically addressing that there isn't a such thing as a movie star anymore. Like, he's saying Anthony Mackie is no longer a movie star. People go to the movies to see Avengers, X-Men, these comic book thriller event movies. And I agree with him about 90% of what he said. My initial take on that is that he's absolutely right. More people are willing to go see the Avengers and X-Men and comic book thriller movies on either Marvel, DC, or whatever, to enjoy the event and the experience. if you look at a standard film that's not attached to a franchise, you notice as those films don't make as much money compared to the comic book action stars that are going on in Avengers. So to a point, he's actually correct. What I disagree with him is that there is still that movie star era. Like, for instance, people are willing to go see a Daniel Day-Lewis movie because Daniel Day-Lewis is an amazing actor. People are willing to go see a Matthew McConaughey movie because he's an amazing actor. There's still some people willing to go see a Will Smith movie because he's an amazing actor. Like, for instance, Will Smith has this movie called Gemini Man that's coming out. The only people who are going to go see Gemini Man are people who are attracted to the marketing of that movie and people who are Will Smith fans. Gemini Man is not attached to a franchise of any kind. So, and that's what you have to look at. And also, you know, Will, as an actor, most of his movies are not sequels aside from certain projects. So if you look at the projects that are mostly standalone, like The Pursuit of Happiness, that's a Will Smith movie. And like I said, the only people who saw The Pursuit of Happiness are Will Smith fans, and the marketing of the movie drew the people to that particular movie. When you look at the Avengers, everybody and their mama went to go see that movie because everyone loves the fandom of it, and it's an event. So I agree with him when he says that to a degree there is no such thing as the movie star, because most people are willing to go see, you know, Captain America, Batman, Superman, Iron Man, Spider-Man. The people are willing to go see those particular characters on screen for X amount of hours, right? But as far as seeing an independent standalone movie that's done by a major studio or independent studio or whatever the case may be, most of those things are not as viewed as the superhero comic book movie. That's why I kind of agree with most of what he said. So for me, I see where he's coming from, but I have to disagree that there is still that movie star fandom. It's not as big as the comic book fandom, but there is such thing as movie stars. So let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Tory Lewis, and he writes, "Hey Alex, what do you think about the recent comments made by an Oscar voter about not voting for anything that has the word Avengers in it because it's just a cash grab movie?" Well, thank you for your question, Tori. This is very simple for me, and I've been talking about this for years. First of all, the Academy is very biased to comic book movies in general. There's only been a handful of comic book movies that have been nominated. With that being said, comic book movies for the last 10 plus years have been making killings at the box office. They've been blowing out these dramatic or action films or these documentaries. They have been blowing out these films in theaters. They've been blowing them out. So I do think it's a little bit asinine that he's prejudging it and saying that he's not going to vote for anything but the Avengers in it. But keep in mind, that's his opinion. That's how he feels. Now, I think, though, if I was our Academy member, I would be a little bit more open-minded to the different films that I watch, because I have to check my opinions at the door when I watch a movie. You know, I recently just saw X-Men Dark Phoenix. I checked my opinions about it at the door, saw the movie. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was pretty bad for the second half, but for the most part as a film, it's not a terrible film. For me, it's not. So you have to, as a member who votes on these movies on a consistent basis, you as a voter have to check your opinions at the door. And this whole notion of a cash grab, I'm sorry, but Hollywood, all their movies are cash grabs. It doesn't matter if it's a comic book movie or not. Most movies are in theaters to make money. They're not in theaters to do anything else. Or they're more so there to make money. That's the whole point of show business, is to make money. So I do think his comments are very asinine. Keep in mind that there have been comic book movies voted for Oscars. However, I do think, though, the Academy is very biased to anybody who has a comic book movie in theaters and they don't wanna vote for it. I'm not gonna lie, like Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War should have won for Best Picture, or Black Panther should have won for Best Picture, because they've done some unprecedented things in movies that have never been done. That in itself has to be looked at and say, okay, what other movies outside the comic book genre has done something as big as this? And they haven't. And you can tell by the ticket sales of these movies, they're cultural phenomenons. So the fact that someone wants to be an asshole in a sense, say that they're not going to vote for this, I'm sorry, you're wrong. You should put your emotions aside, evaluate the movie what it is, and then give your honest opinion about it. That's just where I'm at about that. So thank you for your question. Let's jump into the final question today. I'm running low on time, but I'll go ahead and answer this question, which comes from a Liam Bradley. And he writes, "Hey Alex, why is everyone so surprised that DC canceled Swamp Thing? I mean, DC has been very inconsistent in their comic book property, so I don't understand why everyone is so confused." Okay, thank you so much for your question, Liam. So I'm going to try to answer this the best way I know how. I would agree with you if Swamp Thing was a movie, but it's not. Swamp Thing is a property on their streaming service. Again, I would agree with you if this were a movie, but it's not. It's a property on their streaming service. Here's the problem with your question. The problem with your question is you're insinuating that DC has been very inconsistent with all their properties across the board, which is actually not true. As far as their TV properties, what they're going on with the CW have been very consistent. If you look at all the recent crossovers and all the seasons of their shows, none of them have been canceled, none of them have been put on hold, and none of them have been failing. I mean, they've had their ups and downs, but they are constantly succeeding. I've even heard one of the producers of Arrow say they could do Arrow for another 10 seasons, but they're going to wrap it at season 8. So let's not confuse what's going on in the movies and put it on all their other media. Now, again, with their DC universe, Titans is killing it. Doom Patrol is killing it. Young Justice Season 3 is killing it. There are so many other things that are going on in the DC universe that's actually successful. The reason why people are surprised, like me, is because DC, as far as their TV and streaming properties, have never done anything like this. And it's very bad business to announce a show, release the first episode of the show, and then cancel the show with it being out for only a week. Most shows, this is how Hollywood works. Most shows, if they know a show is going to be canceled, 9 times out of 10 they don't greenlight it. But however, if they don't know it's going to be canceled, they release the full season of it. And they don't announce the cancellation of that season until the end of the season. Because when it's on TV, it's going by ratings. If it doesn't meet enough ratings within the period it's out, then obviously they'll cancel the show. But given the fact that this show has only been out for a week, and they announced cancellations, I spoke to a couple of execs. Listen, they were going to cancel this show before they released this show. And my take on this is that they should have never released the show if they knew they were going to cancel it. If I am a subscriber at DC Universe, and you just announced that you're canceling Swamp Thing, then I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to. What is the point of me watching 10 episodes of something that's going to be canceled later on? It doesn't make sense. So for me, it's bad business, number one. Number two, DC has not been inconsistent with their properties as far as their streaming and TV. And number three, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. If Swamp Thing was a movie, I could understand the question. I could. But since it's not a movie, then I'm looking at, like, Titans hasn't been canceled. Mind you, they greenlit season 2 of Titans before the mid-season of Titans. They greenlighted a Doom Patrol season 2. They greenlighted so many other seasons of these new shows on the streaming service. So this, for me, is actually very surprising, and for others, because this has never happened with their TV or streaming property. So that's where I'm at with that, Liam. Thank you for your question. Thank you guys for watching this jam-packed episode of Ask Alex. We got a lot of cool things going on Momentum Media. Some new stuff coming out that I can't wait to share with you guys. And also, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Go ahead and hit that button and hit that bell. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and go to my Patreon page and support my Patreon. I would love for you guys to be a supporter on my Patreon to help put out greater content. So thank you guys for watching this video. Drop your opinions down on the comment section below. And as always, you guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page to get more exclusive content coming from my YouTube channel. And if you want to watch my previous videos, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see more exclusive content coming from my channel. Thank you guys for watching this video, and you guys have a blessed day.